Smileys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to create a blue eyed look and I'm going to use the James Charles palette and the Ultimate Face palette. Now before I begin, I am going to do my eyebrows, and as I do my eyebrows I use one product. I use the Eyebrow Pomade from LA Colors to give my eyebrows a natural smooth look. I like the pomade better because with the pencil you see those harsh lines and I can't work with the pencil. I have to use a pomade of some sort. Now I'm going to go in with the concealer CoverGirl. I do my eyebrows crazy, so once I use the concealer I could set them right into place, just shaping them up as quickly as possible, making sure that there is no mistakes. So all that jibber jabber drawing the eyebrows messy, now I'm just going to clean it up using my concealer. Now while I'm cleaning up my eyebrows with the concealer, I've noticed that, using a natural color concealer helps a lot, especially when you're about to begin doing some bright colorful colors. So that's why I'm using the tan shade, just to make sure all that is in place. Now I'm going to go in with my foundation, just so that once I apply my foundation all over my face, I've already have my eyebrows shaped out. I don't need to get as close to my eyebrows as I would normally do when I don't do my eyebrows. Okay. So I'm just making sure that it's shaped up nicely and it's blending in together and that they look like sisters, not cousins. So just gonna make sure, clean it up, making sure they both look as alike as possible. Now I'm gonna go in with my damp sponge just to blend it in, creating that natural glow, making sure it blends smoothly through my skin. After I finish blending, I'm going to go in with my LA Colors, the shade Natural, setting loose powder, and I'm going to set my concealer in place so that there is no creases in my eyelids. Now I'm using, in the James Charles palette, I am going to use the shades Cola, Brother, and Kidding. Oh, and I'm also using Spook for my blush. It's very important. So I'm going in with the lighter shade, Cola, just to give it that natural light blue look, going from light to dark right above the crease. Now, as soon as I finish doing that, I said the wrong color. This is Playground, okay? So I'm going in with Playground just to make sure I go in nicely. Then I go in with Brother and Cola to make sure that it's all blending from light to dark. When you use a lighter color first, you could actually blend it as high as you want to, but if you go in with the darker color first, it's kind of hard to blend out. That's why I always go from light to dark, especially since I'm a beginner. So that's why I say this is a beginner friendly video, because as a beginner I always think that it's best to start with a lighter color, especially if you don't know how to manage a dark color. It is very important you start from the lightest color possible so that you have a guideline basically where you want to place that darker color, and it will just blend very well. You won't have to use so much of the darker color, and it gives you a nice canvas of a layout. So once you begin to blend that darker color in, you don't have to do double work. Now I'm going in with Spooky and Cola because they don't have a dark blue that I want without shimmer in it. So I'm using Spooky and Cola to blend it in together to create that dark blue look that I like. So first I go in setting Spooky into place in the outer corner and the inner corner just to give it that natural dark look from dark to light. So once I set my crease, it will look flawless. Now for my cut crease, I'm going from my inner corner all the way to my outer corner, just creating a U shape, upside down U shape, so that once I place the lighter color, you can still see the work I've done and it doesn't just all disappear. Now when I conceal, I do a light layer for it because when I conceal, I want it to be as clean as possible. Especially since I'm a beginner, I don't know how to pat that into place. So I go light the light. I go using a lighter layer first. Then so when I place the thicker layer, it's easy to blend it in. Now I'm going in with the Ultimate Face Light Blue. Just gonna pat it into place. Oh, look at that pigment. Just gonna pat it into place. I like to start from my liner area and work my way up. So once I already do that, everything is set into place. I don't have to do anything else. I'm already creating that look. So once I blend it from the liner all the way to the top, it's already packed on the lid. Now I just have to focus on being very precise. Now I usually there's two ways I go from the liner and up, or I tap the lightest color, blend it in all over my cut crease just to make sure that it is set into place. Then I go in packing it in using a tapping motion so that I don't have to use so much products. Now I'm going in with a makeup wipe, removing all the excess that dropped onto my face, because when you put makeup on top of that, it does not look pretty. Now I'm going to use my NYX primer, Studio Perfect, and I'm going to place it all over my face, not forgetting my forehead, the tippy top part. And I'm going to go in with my Conceal Correct shade Peaches. After I apply Peaches on, I'm going to go in with my orange color corrector so that it could give me that warmth my skin craves for, since it is a warm undertone. And after I place all those products literally at the center, I'm going in with my triangular sponge. I damped it a little bit just so that it doesn't absorb all my product and it could be left onto my face, not removing it off of my face. So again, I'm going in tapping motions to not remove what I have done, to try to cover my dark spots all over my face. I like to put it on the nose bridge underneath the creases of my nose because I want my nose to stick out. I don't want it to be so dull. And I place it usually above my upper lip and on the sides of my lip because I do smile a lot and it does get darker there. Now I'm just covering that little pimple, letting it sit there for a while so as I'm applying my foundation, it dries up. Now if you want to cover any pimples, it is a very good hack to put primer and then put your color corrector above it and then let it sit for like 2 minutes or so, and then put your foundation on top of it and blend it out. So that way it's already giving it that full coverage you crave for. So after I've applied all this extra foundation, I am going to use my damp bottom beauty brush and I'm going to blend it all into place to make sure it is blend very well, especially since I want all those oranges to be covered. I want to make sure all of it is covered. So I'm going to make sure I get my neck as well, because I don't want any differences when you look up to me, okay? So I make sure I get my forehead. Now, especially since I'm using a beauty blender, it was very important that I did my eyebrows first, because when you use a beauty blender, you kind of go over your eyebrows, and you don't want to do that. So that's why I shaped my brows first with the beauty blend, with the concealer, so that once I do blend all of my foundation in, I won't have to get so close to my eyebrows. Now, as soon as I finish tapping all of this, making sure everything is setting into place the way I want to, I am going to go in with my two favorite concealers, the Benefit and CoverGirl. I use the Benefit, the lighter shade, number 5, in the inner corner area, right on my bags, to give it that natural highlight glow. I'm not going to go on my chin because I already did that when I covered my pimple, and I use the tan to give it that light, natural glow. I'm contouring. Oh my god, I messed up. Oh my god. So I'm just gonna fix it going in with the contour color. It has a nice warmth to it, so I guess it'll pop out more. I really did mess up. Now I have to do it the other side. So I did the same thing. Now I always blend my concealer first. Some people like to blend their contour first, but I like blending my concealer first. So then when I blend it in with my contour, I don't have such a difference. Because if I did it with my contour first, my contour would then get on my concealer, then everything I've done under my eyes was just for nothing. So I always conceal first, and you can already see the difference of that natural glow I was getting. It's just so amazing. So I always do under the eyes first, just focusing right under my eyes. Looking up is very important so that you could get as close to your eyelids as possible without having to get it into your eye. Now, I always take a second to stop and look at how I'm blending it. I like blending it up because then it's easier for me to diffuse it with the blush. And blending it with the blush, it's so easy. After I set that in, I go in with my contour first, and I set that contour in. It's just like a concealer, so getting a creamy contour is good to set it in with a powder contour, just so that once you place all that in together, it does not move. You don't see no drip in your face. And I always go in with my natural loose powder as well, placing it all over my face, even above my contour a little bit, because I still have yet to find a contour that has a nice warmth in it. So I just go in with my loose powder natural, go underneath, letting it set a little bit, but then after it sets, I go in and place it all over my face just to set all the foundation and concealer that is around my face that I've done in my previous work. Now that I finished setting that in, I'm going to use a big fluffy brush to wipe all the excess away, making sure that it blends all together. So you can already see how structured my face is, and after I set the setting powder on top of it, it even looked more natural. So that's the kind of look I go for when I do my makeup. I don't like where it defines itself. The only thing I like to define is my cheeks. So then that's when I go in to the shade Shook and blend in on my cheeks, starting with my cheekbone, the highest point, which is literally below my underbags. I start there and then I blend it out towards my ear. I do this because when I smile, everything pops out. So I like when my cheek area pops out more than the rest of my face because my face is diamond shaped. Like, I'm going to show you guys later on in the next video how to define your face for your face structures. So I always do my cheekbones because it is the most high point of my face. It is the thing that pops out the most. It is my cheeks. So I love blushing it out. Now I'm going in with my Coca lip liner. And I'm just going to outline a thick layer of it all over my lip. And I'm just going to make sure I get that very nice, precise look. I like using this one. I love it. Like, I love a dark, purpley brown look. Then after I blend it in, I'm going to rub my lips together to give it that natural look. After I finish, I apply some lip oil. Now, after I finish applying the lip oil, behind the scenes, I grab some makeup wipes, remove all the excess off before I set in my setting powder on my lips to give it that matte look. I use a little tiny bit, and you can already see how matte that looks. Then I go in with my highlighter. I place it all on my cheekbone, blending it in nicely. And that's the end of my video. Thank you for watching.